Cheers. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my Week 10 NFL reactions. Coming off of yesterday, my energy right now is about as high as an 80-year-old man, but I think when I can get everything off my chest that I would like to say about the Buffalo Bills, I'll feel a little bit better. Couple of plugs as always: check out G Fuel, check out Waggle, and check out Prize Picks, where using code WyattzWorld at sign up is going to guarantee you to win a free $50 with your first $5 entry. But as always, please remember to play responsibly, and let's get into the video. Okay, so starting off with Thursday Night Football, anybody who watched this game, give yourself a warm round of applause because you suffered through one of the worst games of the season. Broncos escaped the Raiders by a field goal with some of the worst quarterback / offense play of the year. You know, I really thought it was going to be a good day, too, for the Raiders when they, went down and Ashton Jenney scored, and they never, ever got a point again in the game. In terms of the Broncos, this win feels more like a loss than anything because Bo Nix, I really feel he outed himself this week is just kind of, an average Joe. His accuracy, his inconsistency, his IQ with the ball, it's just not of an elite quarterback, at least not right now. Broncos are really lucky that they have an elite defense, man, like seriously. Held the Raiders to 7 points, got 5 sacks, special teams made a play too, they blocked a punt. But jeepers, was this a tough watch. I'm in bowling league for Thursdays, and usually I'm excited to have a football game on and watch that while bowling. By the end of the first game, I forgot that the football game was even on because it was so ass. Now moving on to Sunday morning, we have the Colts beating the Falcons in a thriller. It was a terrific game, if I'm being honest. This was essentially the Jonathan Taylor show on steroids. Every week the MVP odds shift, and man, he's just getting closer to not being able to deny for it. 244 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns, 42 receiving yards. He had like a 50-point fantasy day. Danny made some good plays early on. The one where he almost got smoked and got a first down I thought was great, but he did struggle with pressure later on in the game. Alec Pierce with another big game. Tyler Warren with a big game. Zaire had a good day. Cam Bynum had a great day, of course, forcing a fumble off of Penix. And even though Badgley started off pathetic, he ended the game on a high horse. Falcons actually played decent too. Penix was actually kind of lousy, if I'm going to be honest. Did light up Drake May for 104 yards and a touchdown, so we can appreciate that. Elite! Both rushing touchdowns went to Algier, who was running like a bowling ball yesterday. Jesse Bates made a nice pick, and the Falcons defense had an early Thanksgiving dinner, having 7 sacks. But unfortunately, as the Falcons would usually do, they threw it all up. Good win for the Colts. Now we have the Jets beating the Browns 27-20. I'm going to be honest, until this morning, I did not know that the Jets had won this game. I checked the score at halftime. I saw the beginning carnage from the New York Jets special teams dropping 14 points right away. But I also saw that I believe Justin Fields had like 6 passing yards or something going into the tunnel. Get him out of there. Like, get him out of there. What are you doing? Also, give it up for Breece Hall on still playing for these bums and not sitting out. Essentially being the entire offensive force here, generating pretty much all of their yards and a touchdown. And I also saw Will McDonald did get 4 sacks. He was on red zone a lot. He was blowing people up. Looking at the Browns here, Dylan Gabriel had 2 passing touchdowns, 1 to Jerry Jeudy, 1 to Njoku. I did see a really nice play from him to Harold Fannin too, so credit to that. And also, honestly, credit to the Jets. I do have to give them some positive credit in the sense that this team can rally, dude. They can, time and time again in the fourth quarter. They will throw together some of the damnedest drives that convince you that they're gonna play like that going forward, and then they will just go back to what they did for the last 3 quarters for the next 3 quarters until they repeat this cycle. Honestly, though, get Tyrod in there. Now we have the Panthers losing to the Saints. Carolina, what did I say on Wednesday? I said, don't blow this. And what did you do? You blew it. Another team that scored 7 points early on and didn't sniff the end zone again, didn't sniff a field goal again. Chuck actually aired it out from what I saw pretty nice. 2 touchdowns, one of them to Juwan Johnson, one of them to Chris Olave, who both had big days, and I also saw Chris Olave make a ridiculous one-handed catch. Bryce Young, on the other hand, from what I saw, he looked like a pile of doo-doo. Struggled all game, and then what, 13 minutes left in the fourth quarter, he throws a gut-wrenching interception. Rest of the offense kind of goes as, the tail always plays out. Quarterback struggles, they struggle. Although Rico Dowdle, I will say, is an elite troll. He got fined for doing the Key and Peele pump celebration last week. And this week when he scored, he got up and got ready to do it. You can see the ref right behind him looking down, and then he just ran out of the end zone. That was the highlight of the day for Carolina. And now we move on to the Patriots running away with the division. Drake May, while inaccurate, was still a human highlight reel. Terrific ball placement on the touchdown to Kyle Williams. Another display of an elite deep ball. A display, like I said, of elusiveness where the play should be dead and he should be sacked and it's not and he gets a first down. Travion Henderson breaks out for 147 yards and 2 touchdowns. Christian Gonzalez continues to just be the biggest pest in the league. And even though Baker Mayfield was able to throw up 3 touchdowns, it just wasn't enough. Shout out to Egbook. I appreciate you, brother, for trying. Dez, Otten, Sterling Shepard, all 45 years of you. I appreciate you guys. I hate football. And that'll bring us to Baltimore, smoking the Vikings in the end. I thought the Vikings started off really good, and yep, just like a lot of other teams. Like I said, Mr. fucking 9 over here. Why did you say that? He's getting obliterated online. 1 touchdown, 2 picks. Aaron Jones did come back, I'd say, with a relatively nice day. I wish they would have ran the ball more. 47 yards and a touchdown out of 9 carries. Jalen Naylor was the workhorse of the game, hauling in 5 receptions for 124 yards and a touchdown. And that Brian Flores defense, those schemes I was saying were going to show up, most certainly did not. And Dallas Turner also got a roughing the passer call on what many believe should be a sack, and I do too. I mean, I get the rule, whatever, don't put full body weight on him, but what else? Like, what are you supposed to do in that situation? Like, what do you mean? I'm right here to hit you, but I can't hit you with, you know, all my body weight. I gotta be careful. As far as the Ravens go, Lamar had a passing touchdown. Henry didn't really run all that well, only 75 yards out of 20 carries. Mark Andrews found a way to be effective, only having 14 receiving yards on the day, while Zay Flowers led 4 for 75. You know, I will give credit to the Ravens defense too. They had some people out there making great plays. Kyle Hamilton, Nate Wiggins was getting involved. We had 2 interceptions that were, well, thrown right to him. But to go out there in the home state of the 9 and shut him down like this, you guys might have documentaries written about you or get your jerseys hung up from this game in Canton. I'm gonna jump in. I mean, at this point, you say that stupid shit, it's free ammunition. And now moving on, we have the Dolphins beating the hell out of the Bills in Miami. And credit to the Dolphins, especially after how miserable you guys started. I was like, here we go again. And then we proceeded to not put up a point until the 4th quarter. I mean, what the hell was Joe Brady's problem? I knew from right away, essentially when it was 4th and 1 midfield, and instead of running the ball, they decided to dial up a pass, that this game was going to be fucking miserable. Josh Allen out there sweating his ass off, trying to do everything he could. And this offense just could not put up any points until the 4th quarter. Now, Josh did have just an awful interception in the red zone. But aside from that, this team also couldn't convert on a 3rd down to save their ass. Kincaid got hurt. Credit to Keon Coleman on a very nice touchdown catch. And also credit to the Miami defense on it seemed like most times that anybody caught a pass, they were decked immediately. Also, I appreciate the interception, Mr. Cole Bishop, and I appreciate the interception, Mr. Maxwell Hairston. But if I have to watch Maxwell Hairston get burned by Jalen Waddle one more time, I am going to put my fist through the drywall. Holy hell, could he not cover him? And also, what was it with just the sluggishness of the run defense there? Was everybody tired? I get it. We are missing people. We are hurt. Dude, these guys look like they were running in slow motion. They could not get to A-Chain, who, speaking of, by the way, passed over 200 all-purpose yards, running for 174 of them in 2 touchdowns. Jalen Waddle had 84 yards and a score. Malik Washington had a touchdown. And also credit to your defensive line for not only getting to Josh 3 times on the day, but keeping him under pressure, man. That O-line for Buffalo is usually pretty good, and you had them on their asses. Like, all of a sudden, this win over Kansas City means nothing. We needed to win because now, oh, it's going to get much, much easier. We only have to go play Tampa Bay. If we lose next week, there is a very, very real chance, and there already is a very real chance, we do not go to the postseason. Get it together. Now we got the Giants blowing a lead to the Bear because Jackson Dart ended up getting yet another concussion while going into protocol again and having to leave the game from what I saw. You know, not only was that detrimental for New York because they were not able to pass the ball down the field after that, but they had lost the legs that had generated them both their touchdowns as Jackson had scored 2 more. Also, shout out to the receiving committee here, dude. 4 for 89, 7 for 75, 6 for 62, 3 for 53. Theo Johnson, you know, continuing to, I would say, break out for this team. As much as I wanted the Giants, you know, to get Rashid, and I still wish they would have gotten him, I would almost rather have this than have an offense with 1 receiver who gets 180 yards and then 3 guys who get like 12 or 14. Looking at the Bears, Caleb Williams was able to rally with his boys and come back and stun the Giants here. Passing touchdown by 18, rushing touchdown by 18. He was electric with his legs this game. Receiving was led by Odunze, 6 for 86 and a score, although Colston Loveland continuing to get the target share now. And shout out to CJ Gardner-Johnson on leading the defense of the day with 7 tackles, 2 sacks, making the impact that Chicago wanted and nobody really expected. I'm sure that's going to be great for his ego. I think he forced a fumble too. And now we got the Texans putting up 26 points in the fourth quarter and beating the Jags in a game that I saw really none of other than Will Anderson blowing up the play at the end, causing, well, what was it, an interception or a fumble to seal the game for Houston. From a box score standpoint, T.Y. appeared to be miserable, 13 for 23, 158. I did see ETN's touchdown too. I think that was early on in the game. And their receiving, which is obviously detrimented, was led by the brand new Jacoby Myers on the team, having 3 receptions for 41 yards, and at one point did have a touchdown until it was called back, which I think was the one ETN scored. I mean, what went on with the defense here? What kind of meltdown is that? Allowing 10 points all game and then 26? Which I don't even think was a full quarter now, was it? Looking at Houston, Davis Mills was electric. 292, 2 touchdowns. Woody Marks had 14 carries for 63 yards and a score. Davis Mills had a rushing touchdown. Nico had 7 for 136, while Schultz and Higgins hauled in 14 for the offense. And even though, you know, we got to give credit to Will Anderson for that big play at the end, got to give credit to big brother here, Danielle Hunter, coming up with 3.5 sacks. I thought I read it was 4. And 5 tackles on the day. Also, that had to have been a fumble at the end because I do remember seeing Stingley's pick. It was like a fucking ridiculous one-handed grab. Houston gets a very much needed division victory. Now we got the Seahawks killing the Cardinals by 22 points, winning 44-22. Another game I saw very little of other than Trey McBride destroying Seattle's defense. Had a very nice anger run touchdown. I saw Marvy's touchdown too. Also, look at Jacoby's box score. It's literally the score, 22 for 44. Seattle looked to have a weird day. Darnold went 10 for 12, 178, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. JSN did have another 93 yards and a touchdown. He's the first receiver to 1,000 on the year, and I think he also set like another record. I want to say it's something with consecutive 75-yard and plus games, but I know right now he is on pace to break Kelvin Johnson's record. I watched one of Kupp's catches, the long one, the long pass where he just took off down the field. Saw Leonard Williams blew up a few plays. And also, what the hell is this run sequence here? Zach Charbonnet, George Holani both get touchdowns, and Kenneth Walker is just sitting here in limbo once again. Predictable outcome. And now we have the Lions beating the Commanders in another 44-22 victory. This was the Jared Goff show. This was the Jahmyr Gibbs show. Goff had 320 yards, 3 touchdowns. Gibbs had 142 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 receiving touchdown. Dude, when that guy gets moving, like, it's insane as to how you can actually see him shift gears. He's like a Corvette. Receiving was dominated by Jamison Williams, who had 119 and a touchdown out of 6 receptions. Amon-Ra, 5 for 58 and a score, got a touchdown, did a dance, and then got socked in the face. Can't remember who did it, but there is a suspension in line for that. It's kind of funny, I'm not gonna lie. If you go watch it, he really clocks him. As far as the Commanders go, Mariota had a decent day, I would say. Accurate, no turnovers, 2 touchdowns. Bill continues to struggle to get up the field here. It's kind of sad to watch that too, because he was a very fun player to watch. Debo and Ben Sinnott both had receiving touchdowns, and Treylon Burks actually led the team in receiving, and I saw one of his deeper passes on the sideline. I mean, that was a pretty nice catch, I'm not gonna lie. Washington, you're gonna hate what I'm about to say, but holy shit, should you have never traded Brian Robinson Jr. Now moving on, we have the Rams beating the 49ers 42-26. I predicted Stafford to have another 4 touchdown game, and he did. Another guy who is now absolutely in the MVP conversation. From what I saw, though, they just beat the hell out of the 49ers, although Mac Jones, I saw, had a very, very nice game as well. Anyway, Kyron Williams ran for 2 touchdowns, 73 yards. Devontae Adams had a touchdown. Puka Nacua had a touchdown. Kobe Parkinson had a touchdown. Davis Allen had a touchdown. And what's funny enough about this is the defense probably isn't too happy with themselves after, you know, getting diced up by Mac Jones, but it doesn't matter when you have an offense like this. Like, you can afford to have a bad game. Looking at the 49ers, Mac Jones, Surgeon, 33 for 39, 319, 3 touchdowns. One of them I saw was a really nice play where he extended the play, kind of ran out and threw it. It was really short field position. I'm not sure what one it was, though. Rushing, Brian Robinson Jr., 8 for 41, 5.1 yards a carry, 1 touchdown. You know, he's probably so healthy right now, too. Kittle had an amazing day, 9 for 84 and a touchdown with an amazing, like, extended leap where he hit the pylon to get it in. Juwan Jennings had a big day. Luke Farrell had a touchdown. But man, is this 49ers defense depleted, and it really showed. I mean, all game long, you guys just got absolutely scorched. The Rams are terrifying, brother. And ending, we have a horseshit Sunday Night Football game, and I'm happy I said I wasn't excited for this because it was ass. Rodgers played like hell yesterday. He looked like an idiot. What was the safety he took? That was like the most not Rodgers thing ever. It looked like Tua. What's pathetic too is your defense, it was there. The Chargers didn't skin you alive by any means. You guys had 5 sacks on them, and you just couldn't do shit. Massive days coming out of McConkey, Vidal, and Justin Herbert. Herbert had 220, 1 touchdown. Vidal, 95 on the ground and a touchdown. McConkey, 4 for 107 and a touchdown. Should have had 2 touchdowns. touchdowns, man. I wish you would have just gotten out there a little bit more. And shout out to the senior citizens here getting a duo of sacks, not to leave out Thule here, but Khalil Mack and Bud Dupree came up with a pair themselves there, and I'm not even kidding you. There might be 70 years of age between them two. Really though, that game sucked. It was ass, it was slow, it was sluggish. I would say other than the fact that Ladd McConkey had a nice play there, Keenan Allen breaking the all-time Chargers reception record, that's like the most memorable thing about this game. Like nobody will ever probably come back here for any other reason than to see Keenan Allen break the record. Which congratulations to you on that, by the way, Mr. Keenan Allen. And that is going to do it, ladies and gentlemen, for my Week 10 NFL reaction. As always, please let me know your feedback in the comments, and if you want to show support to this video, please do it, because you know I appreciate all help. In the meantime, though, I'm going to get this whipped up so you guys can watch it on time. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Monday, and I will see you in the next upload.